Welcome to another edition of Kiahura New Zealand. COVID-19 has taken a toll on all of us. One of the most affected group, though, is performing artists. With a ban on gatherings of people, concerts have vanished completely, and so have the incomes of performers. So, how are they coping? Join me in my conversation with popular Auckland musician Ben Fernandez. Ben is a classically trained jazz pianist, composer, and arranger. He has a master's degree in music, majoring in jazz performance from the University of Auckland. And the topic for his master's project was improvisation, Indian music, and jazz. The highly qualified Ben also has degrees in physics, computer science, and business management. Ben has performed at concerts and events in over 25 countries and is an award winning composer for jingles, television shows, and movies. He has released 7 albums of his music here in New Zealand, and his music is available on iTunes, Spotify, and YouTube. Ben is also an educator and conducts regular workshops on improvisation in New Zealand and overseas. Hello, Ben. Welcome to Kiahora, New Zealand.
Oh, Dave, good to be here, and thanks for inviting me to be here with you all this morning.
Always a pleasure to have you and to talk to you, Ben. So, how's it been in this lockdown? You're an artist who's always up and about and playing for audiences everywhere from, restaurants and functions and, to dignitaries and at the government house. And, you've been all over the place and you're a man much in demand. So, how's it been for you in the lockdown for the last 6 weeks or so?
Oh, I think it has been challenging and tough at the same time because over the past few weeks, right from mid-March, we've seen all our gigs and in the process, our income just kind of just disappear just like that. And it's something that we really couldn't have even imagined even a few days before that actually happened, that such a scenario was possible. But I guess we have to adapt to the new, what's called the new normal, and move forward and chug along and think of different ways of doing things. So and yes, we have, of course, we've been locked down at home, but uh, we do miss live performances, performing for people. But I've been doing stuff from home and performing concerts at
What
home.
exactly have you been doing at home?
Quite a few things. In fact, I've started live stream. The first thing I did was try to reach out to people by sending small little videos to people I knew, especially people from rest homes and people know who miss music. And then I started live streaming concerts on Facebook and on YouTube on my Facebook channel, and these were really well received. And I had little themes, and I the first one was memories I made of this. So it was memories that triggered to various songs, and yeah, and they were pretty well received. And I've got my little son Josh at home. He plays drums and clarinet and a whole lot of other instruments. So I didn't have any other musicians to work with, so I used to do stuff with Josh. And in fact, one of the New Zealand Symphony Orchestra, somewhere in April, had put out a call for people and musicians around the country to play Pokari Kariana on a Saturday afternoon at 3 o'clock, just to show how solidarity through music of the entire country. And Josh and I just on a whim we played it, and that post has got almost 10,000 hits views so far, and it's reached out to people from all over the world, in fact. And so just shows you the power of music, and the ability of music to connect. And I think music, my whole aim is for me to try and bring joy to the world, joy to people through my music. And music is something that should be shared, and this is a key thing that has come out during this lockdown. People sharing ideas, people sharing resources. Teachers, I teach as well, and all my lessons have been online. And it's been challenging though, because you're working with a new environment, and you can't see your students face to face. but I guess everyone's really adapted to what's called the new norm and really very quickly, So yeah, it's been challenging, but
Uh,
good in many.
Ben, have you been doing collaborations with musicians, other parts of New Zealand or other parts of the world even?
Oh yes, in fact, quite a few years, and this is the good thing that has happened ever since everyone's in lockdown. So I've had calls from singers, from musicians, from India, from Australia, from the States. I've done a project with the drummer from Costa Rica, and there are a couple of our tunes up on my YouTube channel and on Facebook. So some small snippets that we've put together of tunes. And there's one that I did with a singer from Napier. I recorded at home in Auckland, and the drummers from Costa Rica. Then I've done projects with singers from India and myself here, and also people from New Zealand as well, but in other parts of Auckland, so to say. Yeah, so it's been fantastic. Another good thing that has come out is there are some really key musicians, from all over the world, who've been conducting workshops and lessons online, all for free. I connect with a fantastic pianist in the States called David Berkman, and every Tuesday morning he has a workshop on jazz harmony, and now these are some of the finest musicians in the world. And we've also had online discussions on Zoom with people from the music industry, from States, from Canada, from Singapore, all sharing ideas to see how we can we can move forward and find a way out of this. In New Zealand too, we've got Mensa, that's the music education New Zealand, very very supportive, and teachers all over New Zealand have connected, collaborated, shared ideas, different ways of doing things on Zoom, sharing these resources. And that's been a definite positive out of all of this. I've made connections with people right across the country who I don't think I would have made otherwise. And the students too. In fact, all of my students, they started composing songs. I've got them to compose songs about this new, you know, their experiences of being in a bubble in lockdown. And, I might release their songs very soon, because it's amazing to hear, about the lockdown from a child's perspective. Yeah, so a lot of positives, in fact.
What COVID has really taught us, I guess, is to lay the emphasis more on kindness and human values more than money and that sort of thing. So obviously, you've been reaching out to a lot of hearts across the world, which brings me to the question. This working from home and doing online stuff and online gigs and stuff like that has taken your music to the corners of the world. Everyone can watch 10,000
Yes,
people a day and that
yes,
sort of thing.
yep,
But
yep,
that is not commensurate with what you could possibly earn. You know, so
yep.
there's that mismatch. Do you think that mismatch? Is going to be addressed, and at some stage, it's also going to be worthwhile money-wise for artists to work from home and produce their art and music and things.
Yes, I think that's a very good question, Dave, because at the end of the day, we uh, especially musicians like myself depend on our incomes from gigs and performances. And I've been doing a little. Been doing some music production, composing songs for little video films and snippets and online videos that people have put up. Uh, Music for church groups, and yeah, but the latest trend now is people performing live, and then they put in a link to a tip jar, or things like Patreon. I've been in touch with people around the world for links to various ways in which we can kind of earn revenue from our gigs. And increasingly now, musicians are getting paid for their performance, or they're charging for their performances online. People are doing workshops. People are sharing their ideas. People are doing a small little, kind of plans. They've got their own little plans in place depending on their skill set and what they have to offer to people. So I guess another thing that I've seen happening is online music performances for a specific party. For example, if you have a function at your home, I can still come in and perform at your function, but I can perform from my own home. So you have me on a little big screen, and play. And yeah, so that's, in fact, recently I did one really fantastic performance, which was the first for me on Zoom for the Celebration Choir. It's a choir in New Zealand, set up by Alison, who's a music therapist, and it helps people with brain damage and dementia. Music is a form of healing for them. And I did this concert online on Zoom for them, and they sang along in their homes, and I played the piano, and they were all singing, and it was absolutely fantastic. It brought me a lot of joy, but I could also see the joy, and we had questions and answers, and people asked me to play a song from Goa, where I come from in India, and yeah. So I think things like this really help everybody and the community. And so if we can do small little things like this for various groups, and maybe earn a little bit, yep. So
Traditionally, the audiences have been quite not used to paying for anything on the internet. Is that attitude changing? Do you see audiences now prepared to open their purse strings and actually say that, no, we need to support these artists and they are entertaining us, and we need to pay them? Is that sort of thing beginning to happen? Do you see that?
I can see that happen, yes, a little bit. I've been, talking to a couple of musicians overseas, especially, and they can, yes. So that's the new trend. And another thing we expect, that might happen is our music that's on channels like YouTube or Facebook, but also possibly, earn us some kind of revenue. A lot of musicians have been putting up their music on sites like Bandcamp, where a lot of revenue comes back to the original artist, and people have been supporting things like Bandcamp, or we encourage people to download our music, from Spotify or from iTunes as a way of supporting us. So that's another way. Now, with the New Zealand in level 2 lockdown, a few venues have started opening up again, and again, it's a matter of us musicians supporting venues and venues supporting live music, and people coming to the gigs in as well, which so yeah. So I come this week, I've got a couple in June, I've got two in June. That's about it. So
So
I've gone.
when do we see you for the first time in live and in flesh and blood?
Yes, in fact, there was one that I did at this place called Bamboo Tiger. They're trying to make it a weekly gig every Thursday. Bamboo Tiger is a little jazz bar in K Road in Auckland. And then I've got one at Botticelli's. That's a place in Takapuna on the 3rd of June. And that's with a singer called Verity Burgess, who's come back from the UK. So yeah, and also the jazz club, the Auckland Jazz and Blues Club, will be offering us a date very soon. So we'll be playing with the entire band there very soon. So hopefully, uh, people follow guidelines and we all keep safe, and the country, slowly gets out of lockdown.
Wonderful. Ben, can you play something for our Indian Weekend viewers today?
Oh, sure. In fact, I'd probably play a little medley, but I'd like to start with a song called Ajib Dastan. And in fact, I performed it so this song always, for me, music brings back memories. And I was invited to perform for when the President of India, Dr. Pranab Mukherjee, visited New Zealand. And he called me to his table and he says, and the Governor General of New Zealand, Sir Jerry Matapara, introduced me to him, and he said, "Oh, you're from India and you live here. Yes. Do you know any songs by Raj Kapoor?" I said, "Yes, I do." And he says, "Oh, do you know the song Ajib Dasta?" I said, "Yes, I do." And he said, "Okay, can you play it for me?" So I said, "Yeah." And so Sir Jerry said, "This was certainly a first, that someone, a head of state, has actually requested for a song." So I'd like to dedicate this to Dr. Pranab Mukherjee, and I'll go into a medley of some other songs, maybe a song by Lucky Ali, or people that I've played with and worked with, maybe Leslie Lewis as well. Pradeep.
That was
Welcome.
that was fantastic, and I'm
Welcome.
sure it's going to delight our viewers today.
Thank
And
you.
before you go, let me, on behalf of all our viewers, wish you all the best for the
Thank you.
reopening and the dismantling of the alert levels.
Yes, we hope so too. But I think at the same time, we fortunate to be living in a just a wonderful country where everyone's been so supportive, the government, the people, and let's all work together, and we'll there are tough times, but I'm sure we'll definitely get over this.
Yeah.